What's good? This is Kelby Cannon, publisher of Makin It Magazine, founder of the membership, and we are now live with artist, producer, songwriter, engineer, a little bit of everything. My man 2.0.
So happy to be here. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so what did version 1.0 of you do? Like when did all these upgrades come in? What was the beta version of you?
So the beta version, the 1.0 version was just, man, who I was, man, just the statistic, the dread head, gold teeth, box Chevy wearing, hustle man. You know, that was actually my hustle, my nickname when I went to college, man. And one day when I got serious about my faith, man, I kind of cut everything cold turkey and I tried to, try to get more on the righteous path. And then one day it just dawned on me, like, if God is who I think he is, then I've been me the entire time.
Right.
Like nothing happened except for I made a different decision and I made a choice to go by a different code. So it's like, okay, well, what changed? And I feel like my relationship with God made me more aware, made me more sensitive to the world around me and see things through a different lens. So I felt like it was, at first it was Hustle Man 2.0.
Right.
And I changed it on Facebook. I felt like it was the same me, but a different version. I got an upgrade of a relationship with God or higher power, we'll say, tapping in. And then folks didn't want to let that Hustle Man go, man, because I had some ties and, I had a very, very large reputation.
But you know what? Hold on, wait. You say folks didn't want to let that Hustle Man go. But you didn't want to let that Hustle Man go because you kept the name and just added 2.0. So folks is you.
Fair enough. I wanted people to be able to find me. You know what I mean? Like,
but that
if I be completely honest about it, I did struggle with that at first, man. Like my image, my reputation, that was a big deal to me. And so getting serious about my faith. You watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
So I just now got into it, but I'm at the end of season 5 where dude told Arya Stark, like, you have to become nobody.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I felt like that's a transition that I went through. Like I held so much on to, like, I had to have a certain type of earrings. I had to have 8 at the bottom, 6 at the top in my grill. I had to have dreads with 2 shells on the side. Like that was me. I had to have some Jordans, some Timbs, or some Air Force Ones. Like I had a brand, a look, and I felt like I was limited to who that person was. And if you ever caught me not being that person, well, I made sure you never caught me not being that person.
Yeah.
And I felt my self-worth and my value was wrapped up into that stuff. And then I started to shed, and it was like I had to find out who I was again.
Right.
And the core of what I was to other people, but also who I was to myself. Well, I ain't mean to go that deep, but
but here's the thing: it's like the packaging is the product, and at the same time, it ain't. Like if you get an iPhone and it don't come in like a certain weight cardboard with the little, like all the little things that you're accustomed to that Mac coming and the film coming off of it, if it just come in a brown cardboard box like this MSI computer, like it ain't the same thing. But ultimately,
you want respect the
you like that's the way people are going to take to it. But like you said, you've always been you. Like it's still a Mac computer. Like it's been plenty of people who done bought a Mac hot at the barbershop out somebody's backpack. So it was still a Mac.
Yeah, it's still a Mac. Still a Mac, but you don't see it the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that's kind of deep to get into. Like so as you came into 2.0 and you left Hustle Man by the wayside and you walk further into your faith and doing music and coming in with that approach as you did music. And here's the interesting thing. Do you feel like you accomplish more afterwards or before? Because sometimes it's a struggle because like when you're like in the secular space, it's like so many outlets where you can perform and the radio and all of these different things. And so sometimes it's easier to gain traction, or you feel like it's easier to gain traction when you're in that space than when you go into a more positive realm with the music. Do you feel like you saw more success or easier success then than you do now?
I didn't do music before. The only thing that I did before was like I dabbled in the production,
Right.
but as far as like my interaction with the world, it was kind of the same, man. I just found myself in different spaces. Like I've always been a party starter. I've always been an independent thinker. I've always been me. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't go with the crowd. He do what he want to do. And when it became like faith based, or my faith became the different thing that I was doing,
Right.
it was like, okay, well, I know what kind. I know how he is, so like I believe him. You know what I mean? Because he don't do stuff just to follow crowd. So if he getting serious about his faith, and his relationship with God, then I know that nigga solid, man. He ain't finna just he ain't drinking nobody's punch.
Right.
He ain't following no pastor finna put his finger in his booty and nothing like that. Like bro, for real, like Holmes must have seen something or been through something that kind of. And honestly, it was just a choice, man. I really I don't talk about it much because I don't know how people take it. I don't really care, but it opens up a can of worms. But man, I felt like Jesus Christ came in my room, man, one night, and it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like funny stuff. My roommate was out of town. Like my girlfriend broke up with me because she found religion, and she was like, I felt like God wants me to break up with you. I laughed. I was like, well, when you finish with that, holler at me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I, all right, cool. I ain't gonna never stop nobody from getting closer to God, but like honestly, man, like that night, it bothered me a little bit because I was like, I ain't no bad guy. Like if I did dirt, it was provoked. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like if I stole, I ain't still nothing big. If I sold something, I was just trying to get money. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I've been to church before, and but I wondered. I said, God, if it's more to you than what I know, then show me. And I felt like, man, that night, like I woke up, I ain't never been the same. Like it was this real bright presence in my room, and I felt, I don't know, it was like a peace. It was weird, man. I woke up like Bruce Leroy, like I had to glow. Like I just vibed on a different level. Like I was just so much more sensitive to everything going on around me. Like empathy was not a big deal. It was like, man, F you. If you don't fool with me, don't fool with you. Like I could
Right.
care less about your existence. Like just me and my partners, like if you ain't looked out for me when I was hungry, like you wouldn't feed me, the world has proven to me it's a cold place and cares nothing about you.
Was that the first song you did?
What?
Hungry. Nah, I
Hungry
just
was
like, cause I was
it was one of my first
yo,
singles. It was my first big single though.
right.
It was my second song, but it was my first.
I was like,
Nigga,
oh, I see the transition. I see you dropping
yeah,
Easter
yeah,
eggs.
man.
Easter eggs. Go look on the Spotify.
You gotta go find it, man. It's still out there going live. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's still one of my best performance songs too, man. The crowd goes wild every time I do that song.
Right. So, and I guess that's the interesting thing is like to have like the first time you have peace when you've lived your life without it. Like to just anything when you experience anything for the first time, and it's just like love, like
Yeah,
we be in relationships and all this stuff, and you feel like, and then you get to a place where you really like. Me and my wife been married for 14 years. You feel me? And it's just like I've been in relationships and had strong feelings, but in retrospect, would I say it was love? Probably
right.
not. Like, cause now, like when you experience something on a certain level, so like when you, as you mature and you get older and you have these new experiences, and then it gives you a different perspective, which you looking back on some of the old stuff and the way that you felt and
Yep.
the way that you were moving. But yo, so you since then you've charted on Billboard as an artist and a producer. You had the what was it, Light Work that was featured on World Star?
Yes, sir. Got
Yeah,
the placement Making It Magazine because I am a member.
right. But you got this new record, My City Part 2.
Yes,
Yeah, I want
sir.
to give the
My
people
yes,
a little snippet of before we get up out of here. So kind of just real quick, I'm gonna give them like 60 seconds of it, but if you want to kind of set it up and let them know what the record is about and the vibe is.
all right, for sure. So, man, it's when G going back, right? Tell
It's like, man, be a witness to me or tell folks about me. From
hold the call. All right, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Like your audio got super clear, then super unclear, then it back.
I hate that. It threw
Listen,
my sound
hold
off, but
on,
I'm gonna
right
keep
now I got to
talking.
be like, your audio's a little muffled.
See.
Well, real quick. So basically, man, like I felt like Jesus told him, tell folks about me in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the rest of the world, right? And I felt like it was an intentional order because Jerusalem was his hometown. And it's also some, a scripture, just a principle that charity starts at home. Like it sucks for me to try to feed the hungry kids in Africa, but the little poor kids in the shelter down the street, man, we gonna ignore them.
Right.
Or the little refugees in Tucker, we gonna ignore them, but we gonna go to Africa and get them rice.
Right.
And it's like, bro, like start at home. You know what I'm saying? So them people can really tell, like, nah, he for real about it. This isn't no gimmick. This isn't no grandiose thing. So I wrote this song for my city because I'm really out here in the streets with it. Like,
you know what?
I do stuff in the prisons, the homeless shelters, community outreach. I done spoke at Atlanta City Council meetings, like mentor programs, giving kids studios. That's a whole different situation. But like, it's not for any PR reason, which is part of why my numbers look the way they do, because I really want the impact. That's more important to me, or that's the higher priority. I'm gonna be famous, but I want to be famous with an impact. I want my brand to mean something, not just, oh yeah. I like his music, and it's like I don't care about him. He don't do nothing for me.
But here's something and this is one of the things I think I wrestle with, and I think most people who doing things for a genuine reason.
Say it again.
It's something I wrestle with, and I think most people who do things for a genuine reason, they wrestle with this. Is impact versus impressions.
True.
And it's like you made. Can you not hear me? All right. So where was we? What was we at? It was something you said that I wanted.
You were saying impact over impression. First impression, or you need to tell the story behind the song.
So this is the struggle. I feel like I've struggled with this, and I feel like most people who do things from a genuine place struggle with this. Is like, I don't know. I just feel goofy. Like if I'm like, look at me helping people, like that just it seems disingenuous. But here's the thing: impressions allow you to have more impact.
Yeah. I learned that. I learned that on Clubhouse. Actually, I don't know if you was in that room. I think you were in that room, and there was a couple of other executives, and they were like, "Listen, like we don't see this kind of stuff on a regular basis, so it's like." You don't let people doing it for the wrong reasons stop you from sharing you doing it for the right reasons. We cannot support you. We don't know this is what you're doing. We that kind of engagement is what makes us want to. That's a part of your brand. That's what makes us want to support you and engage with you more. So it's like we got to know that you go to the prison, or we got to know that you went to the homeless shelter like every fourth Monday. You know what I'm saying? Because wow, like you've been doing that for like 3 years, like. Nobody knows. No big press about, man. Like, how can you do more? Like, you gave like 3 kids a studio session and stay in the projects because they like that's all they care about, and they kept them out of games. Well, it didn't keep them out of games, but it kept them off the street.
Right.
And it's like, man, like, how can we help you do more?
Right.
But you don't get that. You don't get that kind of response when I
I'm
didn't know
gonna
you
flip it on you though. I'm gonna flip it on you because we've been doing this magazine for 14 years. And you've been aware of the magazine for longer than you've been a member, right?
For sure.
And so here's the thing, like for at least 10 of those years, like we would do like these mix CDs, do 5,000 of them, put people on them, go put them out, go out of town at major events, putting artists on. Like the first show we put on, some artists on, sponsored everything, was opening up for T.I. Like all kind of stuff. But throughout all of this stuff that we were doing, like we would just do it and wouldn't talk about it. Like we would talk about the opportunity, like, hey, we're looking for somebody to do this, and people would submit, and then we would do it, and then we would move on to the next thing. And so here's the thing: people take for granted, like, or just assume that ain't nobody doing that. Like ain't nobody. So when people are going to stick to their assumptions until you put the proof of what's been done in their face. Like,
yeah, that's real.
And so like, so it's like everybody talks about everybody's bio includes investor and philanthropists and all of that stuff. We need to see some spreadsheets. Like you understand what I'm saying?
Right. Where the receipts are.
Yeah, exactly. And so like, I feel like that's the thing which, it that's something that you have to, and I say you as in me too. Like we have to compromise on that, on our, because like on our pride, our values, that, you know, if I'm doing this for the right reasons, I shouldn't have to do all this other stuff. And it's like, but that ain't the way the world functions. And if we really want to have the impact that we want to have, then we have to play the game based on the rules that are set out.
100%.
So
I couldn't agree with you more.
But yeah, like I'm about to play a little snippet of this My City Part 2 for the people.
And I dropped a video today. I just dropped the video, so if you check that out, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about as well.
Okay. Like, you got a long intro in this. You know, you be having
your
eyes gotta be. He be having some movie intros in like Marvel Studios presents.
But I listen though. You know this about me. I listen, so I pay attention to that critique, and it's maybe taking 2 or 3 years, but it might be 15 seconds.
All right, let's get to it.
Hey man, it's your boy 2.0. Know I had to run it back on some Wretched, man. I don't think y'all heard me the first time. Big guy told me to show the love, man, so I felt like charity start at home and do it for my city first. Yo, came from the west side of 20. City, you go, said I'm one of them billies. I was taught blessed at the place where you grow, so that's Washington Park down the Washington Road. I got some kids looking up in 4 season. I got some folk on the street in the cold. I gotta make it and they gotta see it. Do this for all my folk, ain't no parole. Yo, Martin Luther, no dream, I got vision. Run up a bag and then give me a sprinter. You bout a ball while I'm at 1-6. Give me a flow, get my folk off the street. I know what it's like having nowhere to stay. I know what it's like when I'm feeling your pain. I know when pain teaches a lesson to stick. And I know there ain't no avoiding the rain. I know that God never make a mistake. I know you gotta take care where you stay. That's why it's yours at the end of the day. And I'm from the southwest and east of the 8. Memorial Drive down the southwest Decatur. Down the Onet where they do Council Gate. Washington Park, but the road is my favorite. My city's forever, and this is my statement, yo. I just wanna do good for my city. Run up a bag and take care of my people. Before one the sauce in my city, the kitchen. I just wanna do good for my city. Show me the struggle and how to go get it. Lord, I'm just praying. I hope that you hear me. I just wanna do good for my city. Run up a bag and take care of my people. Before one the sauce in my city, the kitchen. I just wanna do good for my city. Show me the struggle and how to go get it. Lord, I'm just praying. I know that you hear me. Whole lot of big.
All right.
I was big sad in my city. Now I'm finna get the big bag in my city. Yeah, yes, sir. Oh, God, man.
Yo, available right now on YouTube. The video officially dropped. When did the video drop? Premiered 69 minutes ago.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's on Vivo. I got my own Vivo station now. It's on Facebook, Apple Music, Tidal, all that good stuff. Like, I'm doing this marks a turning point for me, man. Like a complete, like, not 180, but just level up, man.
Gotcha. Yep. So before you get up out of here, one more time, let them know your name, where you from, what you do, and how they can get a hold of you.
2.0 is me, from Atlanta, Georgia, artist, producer, and sound engineer. And yeah, you can find me on all DSPs, the number 2.0, and on all social media, it is the number 2, the word point, the number 0, TNT. You can look it up, on this segment, but it's the number 2, the word point, the number 0, and then TNT. I appreciate y'all for having me.
Appreciate you. Once again, you've been live Making It Magazine and 2.0, and we out.